Well, the economic situation in the United States has taken a very interesting turn. And in particular, if you believe, as I believe the evidence shows, that one of the greatest indicators as to how a particular election is going to go is the perception of how the economy is doing. Things are all of a sudden looking quite okay for Democrats and not so good for Republicans if the average person actually understands what's going on. And I want to start by looking at the first interesting indicator for today, and that is gas prices. Gas prices have now continued to fall for nearly 60 days in a row and are below $4 per gallon for the first time since March of 2022. Now, why are gas prices so important? Because is gasoline really a major expense for most households? And the answer is not directly. Certainly, if you're in transportation, Uber drivers, etc., it's a major thing. If you have a long commute, it's a major thing. But there's two reasons why this is important. Number one, many people look at gas prices as a general proxy towards, are things cheap or expensive right now? And when gas is 5.02 per gallon, as it was 2 months ago, there is the perception that things are generally expensive. And when gas now drops below $4 a gallon, there's the perception that things are cheaper. We know things are cheaper because inflation has started to come down. But there's another issue with gas prices, which is so many of the things that we depend on, food, products of different kinds, so many different things, they come on trucks and are affected by gas prices as well. So this is an important indicator for that reason. And when we look at the Gas Buddy price charts, you will see that there was this peak at about 5.02 per gallon actually early in June. And then it has been a continued and steady decline, now below $4 per gallon, to what looks like, let me see officially what CNN says, $3.99 per gallon as of this morning, according to AAA. So let's now take a deeper look at some of these economic indicators. If you step back and you think about, over the last 2 weeks, what have we seen? Well, we've seen the stock market increase nicely. We've seen a blockbuster jobs report where 250,000 jobs were expected in July, and we got over 500,000 jobs, more than doubling the expectation. Inflation is down. Gas prices are down. The Inflation Reduction Act has been signed. The Inflation Reduction Act has been approved by the Senate, and then tomorrow, presumably, will be approved by the House and very quickly signed by Joe Biden. The PACT Act has been signed. Wages are up. And then on the other hand, you have Donald Trump raided by the FBI with pictures of his toilet with documents in it circulating as he pled the fifth yesterday more than 400 times when deposed by the New York Attorney General. Things aren't looking very good for Trump world, and things are looking increasingly good for Joe Biden. Now, is it good that gas prices are low? One of the things that we have to understand is that it's not necessarily good for the long term for gas to be so cheap in the United States. I've said before, gasoline prices in the United States are not accurate in the sense of representing the true cost of a gallon of gas, particularly including the environmental cost of a gallon of gas. When gas is more expensive, people tend to use less of it. And when you look at Europe, you see smaller vehicles and people being much more judicious in terms of their road trips. I've done road trips and done extensive driving in, let me think now, Spain, France, Italy, at minimum, if not other places as well. And with tiny vehicles, compact cars, little stick shift compact cars that I rent, it's stunning when I don't drive that much and the gas bill is 70 euro. And if in the United States, gas prices were similar to those in Europe, which are arguably more accurate in representing the true cost of a gallon of gas, people would drive a lot less and we would be doing less damage to the environment. And so while by traditional economic standards, inflation down, gas prices down, stocks up, all of this stuff looks good for Biden, I also am painfully aware of the fact that higher gas prices encourage people to get off of gas-powered vehicles and move over to electrics, to drive less, to look for a more fuel-efficient vehicle. So these are all double-edged swords. But by the standard indicators we look at, things are looking really good. Doesn't mean there isn't poverty, inequality, lack of access to healthcare. Of course, we haven't solved the economy overnight, but many of the indicators Republicans themselves look at are looking very, very good.